doing that. So excited to learn more and then actually apply.
Awesome. Awesome. How about you, Autumn?
I learned a little bit about like the 4 phases of our cycle, and I thought that was like mind-blowing information, and I've really just been trying to equate that with my day-to-day life. And so I'm excited to learn like what things I can eat to support myself.
Awesome. Yes, we're going to go over all that. Alyssa, I don't know if you want to share. I think she's probably working. But if you are, you can share. And by the way, I'm recording this, ladies, just so you know. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you what cycle syncing is and give you nutrition, exercise, what to say yes or no to, and herbs that are associated with each phase of your cycle and how that's going to eradicate a lot of health challenges. Then I'm going to share with you what seed cycling is and how to actually do it in a really easy way. So like all you'll have to do is just go get the 4 seeds, and then I'm going to tell you how to prepare them. So it's like super easy every day. You know how to incorporate the seeds into your diet, and it's not like, oh my gosh, what measurements of this one and that one. So I'm going to share with you a super easy way to do it every day.
Can I interrupt you really quick?
Yeah.
My friend's trying to join in, but she said she's like trying to join by phone, but it's asking for a password.
What's her name? Sarah?
Darcy.
Darcy?
Mm-hmm.
Darcy, what's up, Darcy? I don't know. How do I let Darcy in? What's she saying? She's saying she needs a password?
Yeah, she said she's trying to join by phone, but it's asking for a password.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Password in the email.
A password. Oh, my God. Do you guys know how to get a password for the call? If you, okay, hold on just a second. Let me just look at my Zoom real quick. Darcy, what's her email?
Probably like DK Southworth.
What's that? DK Southworth? Okay, yeah, I see that. Let's see. Okay, I have the meeting ID number. Passcode. Oh, I got the passcode. Can you give it to her? I'm going to put it in the chat box. Thank you all for understanding. Okay, chat box. Okay. Autumn, can you give your friend this passcode?
Yeah.
Okay, 280197. Oh, we have somebody else joining. Maybe this is her. All right, ladies, cool. Okay, good. Yay, welcome everyone. Yay. Sorry for that. Sometimes I'm not always prepared, as is life. Okay, Sarah, can you talk? And whoever 400636,
Darcy.
is that Darcy?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to share. Darcy, do you know anything about seed cycling, or why are you here today?
I'm currently going through fertility treatments and have been researching the seeds as well.
Okay, beautiful. We're going to talk about fertility today. Absolutely. And Sarah.
Wonderful.
Good morning, Sarah. Can you talk? Or you doing something? Totally cool. If not, okay, ladies, I'm just grateful you're all here. So let's get into it. Let's get into this stuff. Let me share my screen with you. Let me share my screen. Oh, we have someone. We can't hear you though, girl. Sounds like a song. Sarah, you should just stop now while you're ahead because we can't hear you. Maybe, Sarah, can you type it in the chat box so we can hear you, because the reception's really not good. Okay, let's do it. All right, queens, here we go. So seed cycling, balance your hormones, reduce PMS, boost fertility, and so much more. I'd love if you could type in the chat box, like what's like challenging for you. Maybe if you have like harsh PMS, or if there's anything that's like brain fog, or just anything at all that's like feeling as if like your hormones might be off. You can go ahead and put that in the chat. Cool. So why I created this, that's me at a rave, because I used to do a lot of ecstasy and go to raves. I battled with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is when cysts are all over your ovaries, and you basically don't have a period. So I didn't bleed for almost 3 years because I had so many cysts on my ovaries. And I believe this is from a buildup of a lot of years of birth control. And then I think it was like 9 years of birth control. And then I got off and my hormones were just like all over the place. And I developed this syndrome where I didn't bleed, and I gained a bunch of weight, and I was like growing hairs out of my chin. If you're familiar with PCOS, it's a really interesting syndrome where when your hormones get all out of whack, and you start secreting too much of different ones and too less of different ones, and a lot of women like get a lot of facial hair or grow hair out of places, like kind of because testosterone's even messed up. So I had some hormonal issues after years of substance abuse, I believe, that really hindered, and a long history with birth control. Paired with anxiety, a lot of hormonal acne. I don't know if any of you can relate. You get this like ring around your mouth and around your chin at certain times a month. That is the signature. Around the jawline, that's a signature hormonal acne. So this is going to help with that as we learn about this today. I used to have really bad cramps in my period, and a lot of like bloating, weight gain, kind of like fuzzy brain, headaches. Headaches was a big one. I didn't put that on here, but I got a lot of headaches during my cycle. So if anybody can relate to any of that, seed cycling and cycle syncing is going to help with all that. And then why I created this, I think this stuff is legendary. Like, I plan my business around this way of living. I plan what I say yes and no to around cycle syncing. I really live my life according to this. I'm ovulating right now, and I'm just like a little like flower social butterfly because I'm ovulating, and I feel confident, and I feel empowered, and I feel horny, and I feel just like fun. And so I'm really going to harness that energy. And so we're going to talk about that today, is like how we can harness each phase of our cycle, because we have 2 weeks of yin and 2 weeks of yang. And we're going to talk about that today. And so these are just some of the things that I've really utilized in my healing process. One of them, the major one that I found that really helped with my hormones, which we're not going to talk about today too much, is acupuncture. Especially when I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, I was on a very rigid acu routine, seeing my doctor once a week, eating an Ayurvedic diet, eating a Chinese medicine diet, lots of other things we could talk about today, but I want to be mindful with everyone's time. But if you don't know me, this is just a little bit about me and my background and what I really care about. And I'm on a mission to help other women or bodies that bleed, whatever you define yourself as, to really step up into this way of living, this cycle syncing, because you're stepping into health sovereignty. You're owning your health, you're educating yourself. And so you just showing up today is just so badass that you even care about this and that you want to live in this way. Of course, you don't have to do everything that I say today, but you can take what you want from it, try it, see if it works for you. And I have a good and high feeling that this is going to be really effective for you. So let's talk. What are we doing today? This is just like a few reasons why you might be here: infertility, bad PMS, your cycle takes you out, These are other things that we don't have to talk about today, but maybe you're tired of not having enough time to live a self-reliant life. You're like relying on doctors and shit. You're sick of cooking and making all the same things. I'm going to give you 2 recipes today. You've been feeling a little bit yucky about the way you've been living. You're like not living in unison with your cycles. You're over not knowing how to make medicines and how to heal your body and mind. This is going to give you the herbal aspect of this class today is going to give you some ideas and some things to take home. And you might be running in the fast lane and just like not conscious of like what phase you're even in. You might even not know when you're ovulating, which is that's not good. Like we want to be conscious and aware of what phase we're in so we can treat our body appropriately, because I believe that a lot of women are on autopilot and they're not even conscious of like what phase they're in, which is not good, because when you're not conscious, you're going to do things that aren't in alignment with your yin or your yang, and then it's going to cause you a lot of health problems. So let's all step into our own health sovereignty and own the shit out of cycle syncing, because we can be that woman. We can share the message. You can learn about this today and you can share it with your girlfriend, your family. You can eat in a specific way to share this beautiful knowledge. And so I'm just a medium to pass the knowledge on and a guide, and I'm so grateful you all are here. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what is cycle syncing, right? It's kind of like a lot of in a mouthful. It is literally syncing the phases of your moon cycle with the way that you live. That's a good, simple definition of it. You are syncing the phases of your moon cycle with the way that you live. The exercise you do, the types of food you eat or the herbs that you take, and the things that you say yes or no to. That's literally what cycle syncing is. So when we start our cycle, we bleed first, and this is going to be our inner winter season. So we have our own cyclical year within ourselves. So menstruation is our inner winter. Then we move into the follicular, which is our inner spring. Then we move into ovulation. This is our summertime. And then we move into luteal, which is inner fall. And so I'd love to just let you reflect on that for a moment. You know, like, do you feel like that a little bit? Like, do you feel like when you're ovulating, it's kind of like your summer for you? And when the week before your period, it's definitely like fall time and the leaves are falling and you're getting ready to go inside, right? So it's like this beautiful monthly rebirth. And the menstruation is such a cleanse. So visualize that. For me personally, I'm in my inner summer right now. Does anybody know where they're at? I'd love to go around and share if you know, or if you want to type it in the chat box, you can just share. I don't know how to view my chat box. Where's my chat? Here we go. Anjali, you've got PMS breakouts and irritability. Yeah, so share where you're at. If you don't know, that's okay. Share if you're in your inner winter, your inner spring. Okay, so Autumn just finished her period. She's on a new leaf now. She's in her inner spring. It's a good, nice feeling, huh? It's like, oh, great. I'm in my yang period. I don't have to worry about weird emotions. Anyone else know what cycle they're in or phase they're in? I'll type mine. I'm in my inner summer. Alyssa, did you just have your period? If you just had your period, then you're in your follicular, which is your inner spring. The Flow app. Oh yeah. Flow app is amazing if you all need help with this, syncing your cycle. So something that I do, ladies, before I get more into this, is that on my actual Google Calendar, I have like little symbols for each week, which shows which season I'm in. So for instance, like I know that I'm in a yang period right now. So I have like a sunshine for this week. And for, for follicular and ovulation, I have sunshines. And then for menstruation and luteal, I have like a little leaf or like a little snowflake. And that's how I know when I'm planning that, like, maybe I don't plan 3 events in one day when I'm, and on my inner fall. So what can be affected? If we don't live in unison and we don't cycle sync, what can be affected? Our energy, our productivity, our weight, our focus, our fertility, our mental health, our confidence, our libido, our periods, our clarity. There's like so much more that can be affected. And I'm not going to be able to get into all of these, but when our hormones are not working correctly, then things get off balance, and actually it can cause a lot of problems. So a lot of women are like, why do I have brain fog, or why do I have headaches? It could and most likely is a hormone imbalance. So cycle syncing can help you with the way that your progesterone and estrogen levels are rising and falling. And I'm going to share that in just a moment. So let's talk about our first phase, which is our yin. We have 2 yin phases, menstrual and luteal. So this is a yin time. We have 2 weeks out of the month that are yin, which means calm energy, relaxing, chill, inward, right? This is a slow time. So this is going to be when our hormones drop to the lowest, when we menstruate from days 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. It just kind of depends. And the exercise that we choose really matters. Do any of you get, first of all, I just want to ask, do any of you get like an energy boost when you start your period? I'm interested to hear if anybody gets an energy boost. Because I have like 2 days of like, I just want to chill. And then on the 3rd day, I just get this like, I'm like, oh my God, I want to go do like I can do like something really like intense right now. That's normal. So some of you might have really like short mensing periods, and you might have kind of a gnarly luteal phase, right? So it's different for each woman, but this is still a week of chill. Even though you might want to go like, run a 5K or whatever, 12K or whatever, and go to a music festival. That's great, but at least try to plan it at the very end of your period, because you need time to chill. So exercise, rest, walks, restorative, yin yoga, qigong, or ride the surge of energy after a few days if you do have that energy surge. So really being in tune, but this is a time to chill. For those of us who go hard on our period and like overschedule and go to hot yoga and do a CrossFit class, this is not going to be good for you for the rest of the month. That's really going to mess up your hormones. Your hormones need to be really attuned and really paid attention to. So when our progesterone and estrogen levels drop, we are losing a lot of nutrients, by the way. So that moves us into nutrition. We need to increase vitamin A, zinc, and iron. When you ladies are bleeding, I want you to think like dark leafy greens, seafood, sea vegetables, like get yourself a nice kelp I don't know where you live, but kelp, red meat this is a good time. Liver is really amazing for when you're bleeding, for that iron. Ferments, good to keep your gut in check. So eating some kimchi or some sort of sauerkraut of some sort, just a couple tablespoons a day. Beets, any red foods, bone broth. Make yourself like a medicinal bone broth that's going to have iron and zinc in it. Iron and zinc are really help with the hormone balancing. And then lots of water. When you bleed, you need to drink more water than any other phase, because you're using a lot of energy to shed that uterine lining, and your body temperature is high. When you ovulate, your body temperature is high, and when you mense, your body temperature is a little bit higher. So it's good to make sure you're super hydrated. So drink water. Everybody drink some water while we're on this call. And then let's talk a little bit about herbs. Has anybody ever heard of cramp bark? It's called cramp bark for a reason. It helps with cramps. Cramp bark, turmeric for inflammation, orange peel, orange zest, wild yam, fennel, cinnamon, and ginger. These are all amazing herbs for mensing. If I were you, I would see if you can get like a blend of this or make your own blend. And you can see that these are going to have to do with inflammation and then regenerating and assimilating nutrients in the body. Turmeric does that. Orange zest is going to do that. Fennel has that anti-inflammatory effect. Cinnamon. So these are all herbs that are going to help with anti-inflammatory and soothing and pain management, like cramp bark really helps. So these are foods you can eat. I get excited when I look at the foods for the period. I'm like, oh my God, like, yeah, let's eat some liver. I've never ate liver, but I'm open to trying it. But if it comes from a good source. And then social, rest, say no, snuggle, go to bed early, lots of self-care and self-reflection. So harness this cleanse. It's a cleansing time. This is your like turning of the page, right? Where it's like, oh, I just did this month. Now I'm bleeding. I'm letting all that shit go. Like whatever I don't need anymore, I'm releasing that shit. And now I'm moving on to the next month. So I want you to reflect right now on your last period, if you can, if it wasn't too far away. And I want you to think about, how did you treat yourself? You know, what were you saying? Were you saying no? Were you like, you know, overdoing it? Were you maybe eating not so healthy? Were you drinking and eating salty fried foods? Because those aren't going to be good for when you mense. So diet and exercise and what you say no and yes to is going to make this all the better. So what happens to the hormones next? Now our estrogen and testosterone, they fell, right? Testosterone's actually peaking now. And then we're going to have our exercises that are more energetic, right? So we can do a HIIT class, we can run, we can cycle, we can, you know, run a race. This is where energy is lifting. This is our yang stage. Nutrition, pumpkin, flax, salmon. This is a good phase for omegas and fats, you guys. Think about fats in the yang stage, because what we're doing now is, up until we bleed again, we're building, right? We're building that uterine lining. This is important if you have infertility issues. You want to imagine that you're building, right? You're building to an abundant winter. You want to have all the nutrition and all the goodies in your uterus for that sperm to impregnate into the uterine lining. So this is a time to really nourish that uterine lining. So pumpkin and flax, that's part of the seed cycling. We'll talk about that later. Salmon, coconut, like coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut, what else is coconut? Coconut milk, grass-fed ghee, dark leafies, dark leafy greens, berries, farm pasture-raised eggs, and beans and lentils. It's a good time to, we don't have to eat so much iron, right? But we can focus more on fats this phase. So when you think about omegas and fats and cod liver and anchovies and stuff like that, this is a good time to feed that. And then also with the diet, we don't need to eat as much in our follicular stage. Follicular and ovulation, we can fast. We don't need as many calories. When we're mensing and when we're in luteal, we need 300 more calories a day, because it's like we're building sustenance inside the uterus. And then we're going to shed that. So this is a time, if you want to do a juice cleanse, you want to do a fast, a water fast, dry fast, kitchery cleanse, whatever it is, this is a good time. So I want you to think about that after you bleed. You can start thinking, oh, okay, I've got 2 weeks to do maybe I want to do a 24-hour fast. These 2 weeks are great. So that is yang. We've got this energy increase, which is really the big part of it. And then collagen is a great herb, or is a great, that's not an herb. It's a supplement, I guess you would say. Supplement, which you can get like a powder, or they have, I don't really recommend that, but you can eat collagen from bone broth as well. Nettle is amazing for your yang time. Tulsi and Schizandra. Schizandra is the beauty berry, the 5 flavor berry in Chinese medicine, which is amazing for the skin, that glow, that aura that we all look for as a woman. Highly recommend all these herbs. If you could do like a smoothie with collagen and like some sort of maybe ghee and I don't know, you guys are smart, you know about this stuff already, hopefully. But make yourself like a follicular smoothie and add all these ingredients. It sounds so fun, right? Somebody should make a cycle syncing cookbook. This stuff's amazing. And then what do I have here at the end? Social. So this is where the brain is actually functioning better in these 2 weeks. So follicular and ovulation, your brain's like, this is time to like start projects, like work on your shit, read, write. Cognitive functioning is higher. So work on projects, go out with friends, try new things, get up and go to like open mic night or like try skydiving. I don't know. Like this is a time for you to, go line dancing. I have a friend who went line dancing the other night and I was like, dude, that's so cool. I don't know if anybody does that, but I want to try. So this is a time to like harness that, like kind of like, ooh, maybe I'll get curious about that. Okay. So this is a time to say, I would say yes. And of course I would only say yes to the things that are aligned with you. We have to be mindful with what we say yes and no to, but it might be a time even where you stay out a little bit later and you're not so rigid about your rest. Like it's like, oh, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to like stay up till 1 a.m. And that's okay. Like, because we can do that. We don't have to live so freaking rigid all the time. So this is a time where you can really harness that like playful excitement energy. Okay, so what happens next with our hormones? Now we go into ovulation stage. This is where the egg is going to get released into the fallopian tubes, right? And maybe that egg is going to land in the uterine lining and it's going to get some sperm action. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Our uterine lining is going to shed. But the egg is released into the fallopian tubes and our estrogen and progesterone, I'm so sorry, you guys. Our estrogen and progesterone peaks and then it's going to drop. Okay. Cause remember, we're coming back to our menstrual phase where the hormones go super low again. So this is our peak of hormones. This is like that for me, I love when I'm ovulating. I'm just like, I feel like I'm super magnetic. It's like, I feel like sexy and juicy and like, just like, yeah, it's like a flirty, fun playtime. And how fun is it to embrace that? And then exercise, like you can keep doing the high energy stuff, HIIT workouts, cardio, running, I don't know, whatever you guys like to do. But if it makes your heart rate go up, this is a good time to do that. Nutrition. So this time we want to focus on foods that are going to aid in liver detoxification. So you'll notice that dark leafy greens are almost in every slide. We just always need to eat dark leafy greens. I don't know if I spelled that right. Coniferous veggies. It's got to be close to that. Coniferous veggies, berries, glutathione rich foods like tomato, bell pepper, berries. I put berries in there twice. So get yourself some purple foods that have antioxidants like blackberries and blueberries and purple cabbage and radish. Those foods have a lot of antioxidants that are going to really aid in liver detoxification, maybe some dandelion greens. So we're just getting ourselves ready for like a clean liver and a nice big, beautiful, well, it doesn't have to be big, but a nice, beautiful bleed that's going to be coming in a few weeks. And herbs, red clover, shatavari, and maca. Has anybody ever taken maca? It's great for the libido. So this is a time where you might feel a little more saucy, like sexual. You are really horny. You want to just have sex with everybody. Just like you love feeling, your touch is heightened. And maca is another herb that helps with that libido. It helps with balancing the hormones of your sexual energy. Down here is social, magnetic, sexy, go on dates, confidence is high, have sex, network, strut your stuff. This makes it sound, I make it sound like you need to be a slut or something. I don't mean that. But I think it's more just like embrace this time, like embrace wearing something cute and sexy if you want. This is like, and it's just like for you to experience. And so of course, if you're trying to get pregnant, we all know that sex feels a lot better when you're ovulating. The viscosity of our vaginal fluid is stretchy. It's got that like egg white type stretchy look going on with it. So our body is telling us and showing us like, hey, I want to make a baby, right? And so when we can eat in accordance with that, it's going to allow our uterine lining to be nice and healthy and ready to be impregnated. And especially if we treat ourselves right for mensing, follicular, and luteal, in all the phases, we are going to have a much better chance of getting pregnant. So this doesn't mean that I'm not telling you to like, no, you're bad if you take a nap when you're ovulating. Of course, you need to listen to your body because you might not feel like this when you're ovulating. It might be totally different. And so just really tune in. I encourage you to have a journal and just write down how you're feeling each week, you know? Okay, let's move to the next one. Luteal. So this one is the week before we mense. This one, I'm trying to embrace this one. But I can just feel that like total change from yang, those 2 weeks of yang, and then we move into yin. So this is when our estrogen and testosterone decline as the progesterone rises to stimulate growth of the uterine lining and preparation for pregnancy. If not, the uterine lining will shed, right? So if nothing happens, then our hormones are gonna what? They're gonna drop when we mense. So, you know, 2 outcomes here. But that's what's happening inside you. So it's just incredible to me that we're these like women bodies that have all these crazy hormones like going up and down. We're like a walking science project. So when we help our hormones with this up and down, and we live in unison with them, we're going to feel a lot better. So exercise. This is when our energy is going to start to decline. Who can feel that? Who notices that like week before your period, you're like, it's for me, it's like worse than luteal. When I'm bleeding, everything's like, oh, cool, moving on. But luteal just seems to be really heavy for me personally. So your energy is gonna decline. This would be a time to opt in for the slower workouts. You know, yoga, Pilates, nature walks, mellow movements, right? So I wouldn't say stop working out. I would just say like keep it chill. Like don't go to your spinning class or something that's up and down and all over the place. Because what happens when you do that is you're exerting your energy that's needed for this preparatory phase before you bleed. When we overexert our energy, we have problems. We have weight management problems, especially with hormones. A lot of women are like, I can't seem to lose weight. And it's like, okay, well, let's look at the way that you're living each week because your hormones are probably prohibiting you from losing weight. And nutrition. So this is our time where we can up the calories again. And we could add things like carbohydrates, like sweet potatoes and quinoa and squash, high magnesium foods to reduce bloating, like dark chocolate, chickpeas, walnuts, and apples. So if I were you, I'd make like a squash something this week, and just uptake your energy foods. And this is like we're like prepping for the big bleed. So we're just kind of preparing for that, or we're preparing for the potential to be pregnant. Let's see. herbs. And these are the weeks that you don't want to fast, ladies. Like I hear people are like, oh, I intermittently fast every day. That is not good for women and their hormones. That is terrible. Men can fast 24 days a year. Or men can fast all the time. Sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Men can fast all the time. They have a very masculine, high energy essence. Women are like, they're like the sun. Excuse me. Men are like the sun. Women are like a moon, right? They have phases. They can't just fast every day. That's actually could really be hindering your hormones. So this is not your time to fast. This is a time to like, and in essence, like if you're hungry, like just eat. Like it's okay. Don't be so rigid about what you're eating. Herbs, chasteberry, an amazing, amazing herb, also called Vitex, if you've heard of that. Ginger, burdock, tulsi, again, you're going to see tulsi come through, and ashwagandha. So these are all herbs that I would highly recommend to drink in luteal. Ashwagandha is going to be amazing for the nervous system. It's going to tame any of that depression or anxiety that you might get before your period, or that anger, irritability. I think some of you mentioned. I love ashwagandha so much for that adaptogenic property. It's one of the top adaptogens. Out of all the adaptogens, there's 9 primary adaptogens. Ashwagandha and tulsi are actually both in the top 9 adaptogens. This one's going to help with clarity, cognitive functioning, and focus if you're feeling like kind of fuzzy the week before. Burdock, amazing for inflammatory issues and balancing the hormones. Same with ginger, anti-inflammatory. Chasteberry is going to aid in the decline of the estrogen testosterone. So think about, I don't want you to like go buy all these herbs and spend a bunch of money after this. It could be as simple as like, oh, okay, like you notice where you are in your cycle, and then you're like, okay, I feel really anxious or like depressed. Maybe I'll try ashwagandha. You don't have to go buy all these, ladies. And if you have questions after this, feel free to ask me. And then social. This is the most important week, I would say, that you would want to say no to things. We need to get in that lingo of like with our friends where we're like, hey, I'm in luteal. I'm just chilling tonight. But like, honestly, if we could get more on that like dialect with our loved ones, like that would be so great. So this is really your time to rest, because you're preparing for something, preparing for either pregnancy or you're preparing for bleeding, and you want to chill and like allow that process to be much more calm. If you overexert yourself this week, your period's going to suck. You're going to have terrible cramps, maybe headaches, maybe lots of acne. So we really want to be gentle in this yin week. So again, I say rest, say no, snuggle. I really like snuggling. All weeks of the year, I like snuggling. Going to bed early and chilling. These are all things to really harness. And for me, when I think about this way of living, it's kind of exciting for me, because I'm like, oh, wow, now I have an excuse to be like, no, I can't, or like, yes, I can. And it's not like I always have to, I'm always saying no, or I'm always saying yes. I'm like really honoring where I'm at. And when you are around women who honor this too, it's so much more forgiving. It's like, oh, girlfriend's on her luteal, she's not coming out tonight. Cool. Like, support that. Love you. So start to get in this mindset of like where you're at. And I think Autumn recommended that Flow app, which can help you track it more. For me personally, I don't need a tracker anymore. I just know, because of the viscosity of my vaginal fluid that I look at every day, and then the way that I'm feeling, and then I just have it marked on my calendar. But if you're training yourself to start living like this, then yes, use an app to help you get started. Especially if you're trying to get pregnant, it would be beneficial for you to know when you're ovulating, so you can have lots of sex at that time. Because if you don't know when you're ovulating, then yeah, then you're just having sex all over the place, and then it's kind of a mess. Sounds fun though, but kind of a mess. So let's move into the next part. Does anybody have any questions so far? This gets me really excited because we just went through all the phases. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to know. Okay, cool. No questions. So let's talk about seed cycling. Well, you've been seeing me post pictures about pumpkin and sesame and flax and sunflower. And so eating seeds in your follicular and luteal equals healthy estrogen and progesterone levels. And I'm going to tell you why. So there's 2 yang weeks and there's 2 yin weeks. We eat 2 different kinds of seeds for 2 weeks and 2 different kinds of seeds for the other 2 weeks. So 1 through 14, which is our mensine and our follicular, we have 1 to 2 tablespoons of flax and pumpkin. 14 through 28, which is our luteal and ovulation, is 1 to 2 tablespoons of sunflower and sesame. Does everyone understand that? Cool. Okay. I highly recommend grinding the seeds so you get more of the nutrients imbuing, because if you've ever like ate seeds and looked at your poop, have you ever seen that like you didn't even break it down? You're literally just eating a seed and it's getting digested but not assimilated, and you're just pooping it right out. Totally, yeah. Beata, you know I'm gonna send this out for sure. It's being recorded anyway. Okay, so what's up with these seeds? Why are we doing this? It's kind of funny, right? And who figured this out? I don't know who figured this out, but they're a genius. So the first thing we want to think about is flax. I just buy ground flax. Like I use flax for a lot of my baking. So I just have flax on hand, which is great. And they have something in them called lignans, and so does the sesame. And those are going to help bind excess estrogen. So when some of us have excess estrogen, that means we're going to have fertility issues, and we're going to have lots of other issues, like all those issues I stated in the beginning of the workshop. When we have an excess of hormones, things get all wonky. So lignans are actually going to help bind excess estrogen and help lower it. So if there's too much, flax is going to help with that. And then with pumpkin, they have a lot of zinc in them, which helps support the progesterone rise. So you can see here that these 2 seeds together, flax and pumpkin, they are going to support progesterone and help bind excess estrogen. So they're literally managing the levels of hormones. They're going to help keep everything in check. So that's going to be the first 2 weeks. Then we switch into the next 2 weeks, which is sesame and sunflower. Again, you're going to see zinc and lignans are really important here. Sesame is rich in zinc. It's going to increase progesterone, and it has lignans that help block the estrogen. Sunflower, lots of vitamin E and selenium, are going to boost progesterone and help detox excess estrogen. So, and all of you know Brazil nuts, they have like a ton of selenium, if anybody knows that. You can also get your selenium through sunflower seeds, much cheaper alternative, by the way. For those of you who are trying to get Brazil nuts in, you can eat sunflower seeds. So these are the things that we're looking for. We're looking for lignans, we're looking for zinc, we're looking for vitamin E, and we're looking for selenium. And those are going to really help nourish the hormone cycle. So let's talk about how we do this now. Okay, so you went to the store and you got your pumpkin seeds, your flax, you got your sesame seeds, you got your sunflower seeds. And what I'm going to recommend to you is, you can do this however you want, but I would recommend that you go get a bag of each, and then you take 2 cups of pumpkin and you take 2 cups of flax and you put it into 1 jar. And then if you wanted to, you could just label that jar. You could label it like mensine and follicular, or you could just label it 1 through 14, like days 1 through 14. right? Then you would take 2 cups of sunflower and 2 cups of sesame, whiz it up in a blender or whatever you got, and then put that into one jar. And then you have days 14 through 28 right there. So that's a way you could just keep it on check, right? Just so you don't have to like do all these. And then you would take 1 tablespoon every day. Now you don't have to like take it, like put it in water. I hope you wouldn't have to like just put it in your mouth. But you can add this to smoothies, maybe put it on yogurt. You could put this on your oatmeal. You could put in your chia pudding, put it on avo toast, make pesto with it, make granola with it. You can literally do whatever you want with it, but just try to get 1 to 2 tablespoons daily during 1 through 14 and 14 through 28. Is everybody cool with that? Does everybody get that? Does anyone have any questions? Now, this doesn't work right away. Like, you're not gonna like all of a sudden be like, I'm cured of everything. I've actually done some more research of this. This takes a couple months to get your hormones regulated. This is really powerful for women who are just getting off birth control, because it's really going to ease the hormones back into a normal schedule, because our hormones are all crazy when we get off birth control. So this practice done, like let's say you do 2 months of this, you're going to see a difference for sure. PMS levels are going to, like PMS symptoms are going to drop. Fertility might rise. You might get pregnant. So I would highly recommend like really working on this. Now, something that I do, what am I going to do? I'm going to send you guys the 2 recipes that I have. I do little balls, little bliss balls. So I have my 1 through 14 balls and then my 14 through 28 bliss balls. And you all can get creative with the recipe, but I'm going to email you the recipe after this. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up for you. Hold on. Oh, seedy balls. Seedy balls. That's what I'm going to send you, is 2 recipes, 1 for the first 2 weeks and 1 for the second 2 weeks. Let's see if I have it right here. Oh yeah, seed balls. So I'm going to email this to you. Menstruation and follicular, 12 to 14 balls. And then it's got pepita, pumpkins, flax, coconut, 5 dates, sea salt, almond butter, coconut, melted coconut oil, honey or maple syrup, and water. And then you just whiz them up, put them in the fridge. And then you have rotation 2, ovulatory and luteal, days 15 through 28. And then we just switch the seeds here. You can see sunflower and sesame, coconut, sea salt, dates, almond butter. Okay. So those are the 2 recipes I want to gift you guys for showing up today, because you're so sweet. Let's see, how do I go back to this? Okay, yeah, so seedy balls. You can change up that recipe too if you want to use peanut butter, if you want to use tahini, or whatever feels good for you. But just see about it. And how pretty is it to have those 2 mason jars of your seeds there, and like you're just like on it. You're on your hormone game. I love it. So yeah, that's all I got for you before I go into the Wild Vedic Living School, because I want to share that with you for showing up today. But I just want to know if anybody has any questions before I share about the school, because that is my new offering, and I feel like I want to shout it out to the world. Does anybody have any questions about this? No? Is anybody excited? Like, oh, I want to go do this. Yeah. You could even make like breads and stuff. And like, I mean, there's just so much you could do with this. I did see like there is a cookbook about this. I'll have to share it with you guys in the email so you can buy it if you're interested in that. But there's a cookbook that's like, it does go along with cycle syncing. That's super cool. All right, cool. Are you guys with me for just a few minutes since this lasts till 11:30? I want to share about this Wild Vedic Living School because it's pretty special. So for those of you who are interested in stuff like we just talked about, you might really dig on Wild Vedic Living School. We start March 9th. This is a 6-month hybrid in-person and online program. So if you don't live here in Southern California, you can do the online version. If you do live here, there's opportunity to come to our field trips once a month. And this is really about achieving self-reliance by making herbal medicines and food to heal your body and mind, reversing the system and living simply and completely. Simply and completely is a big one. So get excited, because this is for garden freaks, people who love being in the kitchen or want to love being in the kitchen, individuals who want to be more independent from the system. Who wants to be more independent from the system? I do. I want to be able to thrive if everything goes to shit. Desire to learn how to make simple, convenient, and budget-friendly herbal medicines and wild foods. Desire to heal your nervous system and other health challenges. Make holistic health a top priority. You desire an earthly preventative care protocol. You're curious about how to plant and grow herbs for cooking and medicine, and you vibe on permaculture and herbalism, and you want to know more. So this is for curious people who want to know more. Imagine if you knew all the medicinal benefits of plants to heal your health challenges. You could identify plants around your bioregion on a daily basis. That is a pretty epic trait. And you knew how to make tinctures, salves, teas, and more. And wildcrafting your food was more second nature to you. Who wants it to be a little more second nature to them? They're like, oh yes, I feel comfortable with that. That's not poison. I know what that is. We want to know what things are before we put it in our mouth. I want you to think of fermentation, raw cheesecakes, spicy flour salads. I want you to get in that mindset. That's like what this program's there's gonna be a little bit of that. Think of unique and bioregional apothecary in your own home, like how to organize that and create that. And you learned how to garden and build permaculture designs. That is definitely what's going to be in it. I have a few testimonials from previous clients. Man, I should have put Anjali in here. I have previous clients on the call and current clients on the call. I love you guys. I love all you so much for being in my world. Thank you. She did an Ayurvedic cleanse, Britt Lindsay, and she had a really beautiful realization and some good movement in her life. But what's included in the school, that's what I want to tell you, is each month we're going to have 2 75-minute Zoom calls. There's going to be some sort of, I don't know if it's a Facebook group, but there's going to be some apparatus where we're all connected. It might be WhatsApp. I'm not sure yet. Well, I want to take a reading and see what everybody likes. A guest speaker once a month so that you can have a well-rounded educational experience in this program. And it's not just me sharing the knowledge. Recipe creation time, Zoom room each month, so that you can actually do the things that like the homework that we provide or that we offer. And it's not something that's just like looming on your to-do list. We want to give you time to actually create. And then 5 in-person one-day field trips in the Southern California area so that you can create community, so that you can actually get your hands in the soil and like do things with your hands, because learning about this on the screen is like fun, but it's also really nice to like make it real and it is real for you. Our first field trip here in Southern California is a beautiful retreat center called Liberty Arising, and we're going to be building a triple spiral garden build. It's just a permaculture design here. So that's going to be really a beautiful experience. We'll learn about bioregional plants in the top level of the spiral, and then veggies and herbs in the bottom. It's just an example of one of the field trips. You can find more of this information on the webpage. And then lastly, a bonus monthly recipe ebook and course guide so that you can have a beautiful guide to work off of each month. And you feel fully supported with new information, new recipes, new info. I think that's it. Yeah, it's a pretty special offering. I'm really fucking excited about it, you guys. So remember this starts March 9th. What it's not a therapy group. It's not a certification, and it's not professional medical advice. So just remember that. I am not a therapist. but I am a guide and a coach, and an earth lover and a real human being. Oh, this is more of the month breakdown. I didn't have that. Month 1, if you're interested in learning more what's about this program, month 1 is gardening, permaculture, how to grow your own food, empowerment. Month 2 is foraging, plant ID, how to set up your apothecary, basics of herbalism. Field trip is an herb hike and a walk. Month 3 is we're gonna be making a lot of Ayurvedic medicines, like actually making bastis, and I can't get into all of that part, but it's going to be a lot of Ayurveda reference, herbal ethics, self-reliance. That's going to be a medicine making workshop with an Ayurvedic practitioner and myself. Month 4 is more medicine making, but we're going to be harnessing on tinctures, salves, solar oils, oxymel, teas, and more. And then field trip, another medicine making workshop. So I just want to get our hands moving. 5 and 6 are culinary, so wild crafting recipes, adaptogens and fungi, fermentation, elixirs, soups, main dishes, side sauces. 6, culinary, wild crafting recipes, raw vegan cakes, sea vegetables, cooking class, and ocean foraging. So here on the beach, we're gonna forage feather boa kelp, giant kelp, sea lettuce. I'm going to show you how to dehydrate that and make things out of those things, because we need more of that in our diet. I think kelp is literally the new medicine. So just watch, it's going to be like the cure to something. Anyway, that's the month breakdown. The promise is to heal and wake you up through humanity and food, people. I think Anjali actually said that, those exact words in the focus group, because I interviewed a bunch of you badass women, and she said she wanted to heal and wake up humanity through food. So I want to promise that to people, because I think it's so beautiful. Take healing into your own hands, enhance your preventative healthcare routine, you guys. That is really what this is all about. Become empowered by making herbal medicines and food to heal your body, and attain an amazing collection of unique recipes. So yeah, this is really like life-changing stuff. And then finding comfort and joy in a community that is passionate about what you are into, because I think that's important too. Does anybody remember Deza? Was anybody in my group when she was around? She's such a sweetie, lives in Alaska. She just shared a little bit. I don't want to read all this, but just shared about her digestion in our work together. She has hundreds of recipes and she's feeling really good. So this is really magical, you guys. Like, this work does something. So the next steps, if you're interested in enrolling into the 2 options, there's 2 options. There's the online version where you just come to the Zoom classes, and then there's the hybrid if you wanted to be here in Southern California and come to all the field trips. You can book a call with me to see. The general investment is $5,000, and then the online is $3,500. But I'm offering a special today, and you can get the special price for the next 24 hours if you decide to enroll, for a big fat discount of option A, in person, and online, which is $3,333, and option B, which is $2,222. And if you don't have that money right now, all good, because I'm doing payment plans, and you can deposit just $370 if you wanted to start that. So you can just make a small deposit if you're really super interested and you want to reserve your spot. And I'm going to give you a 90-minute Ayurvedic consultation with a unique health protocol included. And if you've already had that with me, then we'll just figure something else I can give you that's included. Some of you have already done that with me. So, we can always come back to a new health consultation to see what's going on, of course, if you did that with me like 2 years ago. So, And then what I can do is I have these two links. I think I have to log off here actually. What else? Do I have anything else? Oh, wait, there's more. Questions. I think these might be your questions. Do I need to buy supplies and additional supplies for this course? We're going to be providing the ingredients for the live workshops and the field trips. I'm a personal big promoter of upcycling and items used for wildcrafting, like using jars and jelly jars and things like that. And then some of the ebook recipes may inspire you to buy some ingredients you don't have. But what I really want to promote for you is working with local and native medicines and plants that don't cost you a lot of extra money. I don't want you to have to go out and spend, you know, 100, 200 extra dollars a week on the program. I want you to be able to utilize what you have around you. In fact, I would hope that this program helps you save money on your consumption of food and what you spend your money on. Number 2 is how many people are in the course and will I get one-on-one attention? The aim of the course is to have 15 to 20 people. And of course, we want to give you as much one-on-one attention as we can and assist you individually with all the things that you might need. Number 3 is I'm already like an herbalist or a holistic health practitioner. Some of you have done my Ayurveda program. I think 3 of you actually have. So would this still work for you? And I would say absolutely. This would just like enhance your energy as a holistic health practitioner. This is going to be a nice addition for anyone's life, no matter how experienced you are. And then number 4, how is the curriculum delivered? We will be on Zoom like this, and then in person, and then we have Trello, which is where I keep all the content, homework, videos and things like that. And then how long is the program and what days are the sessions? The program is 6 months long. So if you're in it, baby. This is like a real-time, beautiful commitment. The sessions are twice a month for 75 minutes on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there will be 5 day-long field trips once a month with a break in June while I am in Peru. So that is a breakdown. If you had any questions that might have been like that. And then what I will do is leave this alone. And, oh, we do have a chat. Pregnancy. Do seed cycle the same? Okay, yeah, that's a great question. First, I want to just say something, ladies. If you're interested in the program, just let me know. I'm gonna post a little something here. If you want to, if you don't have any questions and you're like, hell to the yes, sign me up. You can just log here and you can see all the different payment methods that I have. I have like the payment plan, or if you wanted to pay in full, you could go ahead and do that. If I can actually post it, maybe not today. And I also have a call. If you're like, Jenny, this sounds so cool. How can I make this work? I don't know. I have more questions. I'm going to post that link here. So you can just call me and we can talk about it. There we go. Perfect. Yes, my loves. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, here's the other one. Oh, I think they're the same thing. Okay. Well, you know where to find me, all of you guys. You're so welcome, Anjali. What about pregnancy? Beata says, do you seed cycle the same? So no, when you're pregnant, you don't need to seed cycle. Does that answer? Because what happens to your hormones when you're pregnant? Does anybody know what happens to your hormones? They go all over the place. If anybody's been pregnant or has children, they can relate. But no, you don't. which is nice because you can incorporate it into your food however you like. Yes. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for coming. And yes, this program is going to be amazing. If any of you do, I know 2 of you are already working with me, but I think you're going to be ending your time with me soon. But this is starting March 9th. So if you're interested in re-enrolling into the experience of education and love and connecting with people in the earth, I would be more than happy to be with you and in love on the earth with you and grow together. And if anybody you think of would like to learn more about seed cycling or the Wild Vedic Living School, please let me know. And I wish you all have a beautiful day. Happy February something. Love you guys. Ciao. Bye. Love you guys.